Both Rutgers and University of Delaware, both 1-1. We're going to see that Azir ban come off straight away. Very interesting ban for Rutgers here, instead of banning something like Jace or maybe even Sivir again, because of how that last game went. We're going to see a Kha'Zix ban because of how mixed his performances have been. Instead, another really safe ban. They're going to ban Orianna in response. A lot of mid lane bans starting off with this pick and ban phase.
Grounded.
Goes that Talia, like I said, making sure that Harrison doesn't get off the ground popping off mid lane, especially as Talia is one of his signature champs. Another target ban with Jax being denied once again from just before dawn. Making sure that none of these guys can really pop off with their favorite champions. Get off for Rutgers University over here. I'm drinking is just phenomenal. Silver's gonna be real clean after this one. Oh, and there it is.
Not gonna let him have it this time.
Eyeing the Harrison from being able to pop off. All three of their bans were targeted against Harrison. What do you think that says about Harrison as a player mid lane?
They might respect him a lot as a mid laner. Is what I'm taking from that.
Harrison has a very wide champion pool mid lane, as all three of these bans were targeted at him specifically. We're seeing just before dawn deny the Vladimir, going back to their strategy from game number 1. Just before dawn was able to get a lot of popping off towards the end game there. They're trying to see if they can replicate that success here in the final game of the series. Font's pick for University of Delaware is going to be Xayah. It looks like they're trying to deny Rutgers from being able to game number 1 by picking Xayah and Lulu. Lulu is going to be the supportive choice for University of Delaware.
All
3 games, as is Kha'Zix going to be for Rutgers for all 3 games as well. Baskin and NA is going to attempt to kind of reclaim himself and redeem himself from his performance in the last game. He was able to pop off in game 1, not so much in game 2. We're going to see how he does in game number 3. Virtue is going to pick Khan.
Well, it's the swap with Alphas.
Thing though, that they picked Rakan knowing what University of Delaware support is already locked in. It's interesting that they banned Rakan that they picked Rakan. That University of Delaware isn't going to pick Rakan.
Well, they did that to stop it from the second ban phase.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Because
Meanwhile,
they would
though,
have banned him out otherwise.
Going to lock in that Twisted Fate. This is one of his most played champions. They banned Talia and Jason Azir, but maybe that's just not enough.
I was gonna say, if his pool is wide enough, it might not be worth banning him at all.
We're going to see a ban in Maokai, another champion that we saw almost in all 3 games, going to be banned for game number 3 here.
I won't be denied.
We're going to see the ban on Sejuani as well, since their jungler has yet to be revealed in this pick and ban phase. This is going to be what we're going to see here.
Let's see what the last ban is. What's your guess?
I have no clue.
Let me get in there.
Is Tristana?
To stop from denying Xayah. It's actually pretty fair. Make sure that their bot lane, unlike in game number 1. Seeing a very interesting pick and ban phase. What happened in game 1. Differences in terms of the Tristana being banned, the Jace being banned, and the Sejuani. Ooh,
Zach.
going to see the Zach lock in for Into Dusk.
Another really big, able to get tanky jungler that'll give Kha'Zix a bad time.
Not only that, but this is actually a champion that Into the Dusk has been playing very recently. Be very fresh in his head. Meanwhile, we're going to see Varus most possibly try to contest Xayah. I don't really agree with this pick, actually.
It doesn't really fit the rest of the comp, I don't feel.
Only that, but they're going to need some hard engage because some nice engage on their team with the Maokai banned out. All they have is Chain of Corruption and the quickness from Rakan, but that's about it.
Well, but maybe they go with the really big AoE here. Taunt. Okay.
It's going to be the Shen. Just
So
as
they
you
got
said.
3 CCs.
It's also going to be very nice for getting those ganks with both that and teleport. Oh, but is that going to be it?
And it looks like
In Ornn on the top lane. That's going to be pretty tough to go up against. Get nerfed. Is it Fiora? Fiora lock-in.
Yep.
An
Tricked
interesting
you.
choice indeed. CC for University of Delaware. I mean, they have the Zac and the Twisted Fate, but that's about it. Exchanges here. Gonna be Shen mid. Going to go for Shen mid. Nope, there's a swap. Never mind. Shen. Nice counter pick there. To be a tank buster. And we'll get pretty healthy. If Fiora can keep Shen into the top lane, important for University of Delaware because that means and not having to worry about Shen, they won't have to worry about cross the map ganks. It looks like unlike the bot lane strategies from the earlier two games, we're going to see a very top heavy strategy this time around.
I would argue though that Fiora doesn't really have a way to stop Shin from doing it other than
Keeping them low HP.
beating them up. Yeah, making them too low to actually be there when they teleport in.
That's going to be one of the most deciding factors of this game, in my opinion. Just all a favor for lovely ladies and gentlemen watching at home. Could you recap what happened in the last game?
For all our people at home? I mean, it was just a general fast aggression snowball from their mid laner. Maybe a steady control, not so steady control of the mid game, with sort of the back and forths between Delaware and Rutgers trying to regain control and then slipping and losing it again. Up until Delaware just won the last 2 or 3 team fights. Sort of just crushed it in.
Be known in this series for all of you who are watching at home, everyone who has started red side has a 0% win rate so far.
Groundbreaking season stats.
Groundbreaking season stats. You heard it here first. Never go on red side. If you're on red side, dodge. Don't do that.
Yeah, it wouldn't work out too well. Dodging.
These past couple games, especially for Best Ken and NA on Kha'Zix, has been very pivotal in terms of their junglers' impact on the game. Do you think Best Ken and NA is going to struggle to find the assassinations that he couldn't find in the last game? Or do you think he's just going to take over the early game like he did in game 1?
He might actually have an easier chime just because Fiora doesn't have as much slipperiness as Vladimir did. A couple of his ganks seemed to... He tried to do too much top. Where he would dive under tower. He had to flash out one time. He ended up dead after that. Tried to do the engage under tower where Vladimir flashed underneath and then he died from that.
I think I gotta agree with you there.
But Fiora, you've got parry. But you don't really have as much invulnerability as Pool of Blood.
It's gonna rely on whether or not she can parry the Shen taunt. And NA can really go bot side. Lulu, with the Nature's Growth, has been able to deny Kha'Zix from assassinating their bot lane in all 3 games so far.
Like I said, that boost to HP. It's
lane.
kind of a lot to deal with.
How do you feel about the Varus Rakan bot lane going into Xayah Lulu? Options
If
in terms of how
Rakan-
he can build, whether it be lethality or the Ginsu's or crit.
If Rakan can land a good quickness, then maybe. But I don't think it'll be Varus that starts with, well, I don't know. You could follow either ultimate with the other.
gonna be all
Another
about
thing that we
ultimate.
just didn't talk about is Alpha's running Ignite again. Did he run it last game? Or did he run Exhaust?
Did start off with Ignite. Yes, he did use Ignite in game number 1. So he's going to try and go for that aggressive bot lane again. Number 2.
Oh,
Here comes the expected pause because of the bullet splat. Interestingly enough, I saw Twisted Fate with Fleet Footwork. In case you don't know, or if you're kind of new to the game or the rune system, Fleet Footwork allows you to speed up and heal up once you hit a minion or champion after a short delay. So what that means for Twisted Fate is he can prep his gold card, which will stun, Footwork proc to get a quick stun, and that might be just the kind of Into the Dusk and Harrison needs for the mid lane. And keep in mind that Twisted Fate is actually one of Harrison's most best champions. Somebody being revealed in the bush. They're going to try and get the invade off this time around. Rutgers University are aware of this. If they can get the invade off. Sure, they're going to walk towards the next. Forward.
oh,
Rakan is forced
that's
to
the flash.
flash early.
Just
For
immediately.
University.
It was flash or die.
Just going to back off there. They don't want to give up first blood quite yet. From Rakan early on means that you're not going to start seeing a flash engage from Rakan. And you could, but it's very unlikely.
Maybe that just makes Zach go bottom early.
Maybe Zach will start a very mid-bot heavy kind of game. You guys sound off in the chat. Rutgers University or University of Delaware. This is the last game in a series in a best of 3. So one of these two colleges is going to come out the victor here.
Quick poke, missed the vital.
Who do you think is going to win this series? There's best of 3.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Delaware because I chose them in the beginning. Let's be fair. I can't just change
Delaware.
now.
I think I'm also not going to change as well, and I'm going to stick to my original pick. Look at that
Alright,
amount
man,
of
you're going
damage that
down.
Shen is able to get off on the Fiora, lowering her down to almost 40% this early on.
Got that grass proc. That's what he hit her
Fine
with.
though, Fiora has some sustain. Her passive, every time she procs a vital, does give her some lifesteal. Harrison trying to get some harass off. PS2 games, you're seeing both junglers go some very standard routes, buff to wolves to buff. However, Kha'Zix is opting to go for the bot side pressure, while Zac is trying to look towards mid, just as we said earlier. That Zac probably didn't do Gromp is coming towards bot lane. He jumped. There goes the engage, forcing the flash out of
Ignite.
Xayah. The ignite as well. Xayah is going to get the root in return. Lulu's going to find herself very low on HP, and that's going to be the backup. They're just going to back off after that.
Looks like you got Zach looking topside, making a ping out.
Taunt
Fiora
coming
too.
in from Shen. A lot of damage.
You are kind of too low to fight now.
Is going to be forced to try and counter jungle into Best Kennon's flash. The gold card going to be enough. He finds the stun. Another gank that doesn't quite come off as expected. Pressure early on into the map, showing that game 1 pressure that he showed in game 1, more or less. There goes some stun from Twisted Fate. Look at that amount of damage that he's able to
Just
get
a
off.
fun little amount of damage. Just hits him with the whole combo.
Already flashes down by both Rakan and Xayah down in the bot lane. A very fast-paced start compared to the first 2 games here, as Beskinen NA is desperately trying to get that redemption that he did from game number 1. Look at this, he's already mid once again, avoiding the ward placed down by Twisted Fate. Possibly gank this. And there goes the jump in, the gold card once again for the denial, and that's Twisted Fate with the return harass. They're trying to shut down Harrison off in the previous 2 games, so they're trying to stop that from happening again. But it's not quite finding their mark. Harrison keeping his cool. He hasn't burned his flash yet. He hasn't burned his ignite yet. Harass. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Fiora used her teleport to get back into lane. Here's going to be a little bit of an exchange, but that Shen W just preventing all of Fiora's damage from coming through.
Well, and no real chance to fight because he accidentally missed taunt.
In here, want to get an early recall. Was it instead? Never mind, folks. And the bot lane looking to reset here. Yeah. But while East Coast Carry and Night Stealth had to back, did not. So they have a whole level ahead of the bot lane so far. You're already starting to see some signs of a CS advantage. Since bot lane backed up, Varus here is going to get a pretty decent CS advantage. Going to be a little bit messed up here. That might allow Zach to get the gank off here, as both junglers are into their second clear now. From both sides.
Don't forget to fast forward your quiet every now and again. Quick little engage on the Fiora. Taunted by Shin. Tries to get a
follow-up damage, but
back in.
Nothing comes through. Fast-paced start so far, but it is slowed down. There goes the taunt from Shen. He's going to try and go all the way here. Harrison, meanwhile, is going to look bot side. He gets the stun off, stopping the Rakan from being able to do anything. That's going to be the flash heal, and Shen's trying to get in out of the action. They're going to try and turn around in the Twisted Fate, but there goes the gold card catching Shen once again. Kha'Zix is here, however, he's trying to get as much damage as he can. He's going to flash into Xayah, and the triple taunt coming into Shen. And that's going to be Xayah forced to use her stopwatch, trying to secure himself, but Shen gets the first blood. Meanwhile, Zach looking for a little bit more, trying to get the root off, and is able to find multiple members down, but instead he finds himself getting his passive proc as he didn't focus Varus. He's going to find himself dying to Shen as well. That's going to be a 2-for-0, almost a 3-for-0, going over for Rutgers University.
Really, really smooth played by Rutgers there.
Game advantage that they need, especially for Beskinen NA, to carry the game later on. What had happened there, the roam off, and he did so successfully, even gold carding Rakan. However, more members of Rutgers University's team were able to respond, especially with that Shen global ultimate that we talked about earlier, coming in clutch to not only save some members on Rutgers' team, but also to get the return kill, as you saw Shen allowed Kha'Zix to flash forward and kill Xayah. Keep in mind, that's actually super huge for Rutgers University. Lulu had backed earlier, so now they're 2 levels behind. Xayah and Lulu are still level 4, with Andis and Alphas both being level 6 right about now.
Yeah,
and
Alpha should hit 6 here shortly. He had to leave
a huge
before
advantage.
The second kill.
The otherwise awkward bot lane out on top in both that team fight and in the lane overall. East Coast Carry, almost 8 minutes into the game, only has 33 CS. 70. Such a huge difference. Bad back timer, and the fact that they just got killed on the return here. A lot of CS missed because of that. super far behind, and Henson is desperately trying to keep his team stabilized. Things are already starting to fall apart here, so early on into the game.
Maybe it looks like they're going for a gank top. Nah, just clean out wards.
Everything's okay. And Kha'Zix's already trying to make his return trip bot, but he gets spotted by that control ward, and Xayah and Lulu have to back off this tower, and even more CS for East Coast carry that's going to be denied. Into the dusk, Zach isn't even on the right side of the map to help contest this. But that's not going to stop Henson. Go in. There goes the
stopwatch, though. That was a really good stopwatch.
But it's just not quite enough. Twisted Fate's going to find himself being locked in. That's East Coast carry getting the kill onto Andes in return. Fiora with the TP in, and the Vladimir trying to make things turn things around. Rakan desperately trying to struggle for his life, but he's going to get killed off. There goes the stopwatch, stopping the Hemoplague from coming through. She tries to survive, but it's just not enough. Zach, however, tries to get the return kill, and that goes East Coast carry getting a second kill. The Shen ultimate trying to go for a little bit more here, as Lulu and Xayah are going to find themselves a little bit low. The exhaust coming onto the Vladimir. A double kill for Xayah here. She's looking for a little bit more. Shen being
She's going to get it with double buff.
Survived. There goes the stopwatch trying to stop the Zac CC from coming in, but it doesn't matter. He gets rooted and polymorphed anyway. He tries to taunt away, and it's just enough for him to survive.
Impressed that Shin made it away on that one. I felt like with double buff that Xayah had that one pretty much dead to rights.
Just that one play turned the entire situation around. Just like that, University of Delaware is back in the game. And just like that, their bot laners are now in the lead with several kills up above Andes. An early game advantage, that early game kill, that early game CS lead. Because of the nice roam that Henson did that started the engage, that started Xayah from getting the double kill that we just saw. Very nice communication by University of Delaware. They're playing their resources right, and they're using them at the right moments to get the tempo that they need to start getting an advantage over Rutgers University. Very well played on their part.
Looks like they're pushing really hard at the tower. Oh, first turret.
Blue team, or Rutgers University, getting the first turret of the game so far. Being the first turret put them with the gold lead once again, along with that dragon. So they're trying to recuperate from how badly that last couple of team fights went down. Yeah, you're seeing Henson. His ultimate is already almost up again. So you know that he's going to roam bot side to try and get his bot lane back into the game. And having that global ultimate, because of Henson's global ultimate having a lower cooldown than Shen's, that means that University of Delaware has a lot of tempo that's always going to be in their favor.
You almost feel like you could even throw Twisted Fate into the same lane as Shin, because he actually has a way to stop the ult.
Henson here. Excuse me, I've been saying Henson this whole time. Harrison, throughout the entirety of the map, a little poke to stop the Shen from backing. Spending a lot of time trying to move their resources towards the top lane. Just stopping the Shen.
Being really annoying.
Again. Pretty huge, because that means that. Oh, here comes the flash engage. Harrison trying to turn things around, and that's going to be the flash coming out from Varus. Twisted Fate trying to look for a little bit more. Harrison engaging nonetheless, trying to go through the tower nonetheless, knowing that the chain of production is down. He gets the stun, but there's the double team. Lulu's forced to use the ultimate on Harrison, but he gets down anyway. Zach trying to make that turnaround, but instead he's going to get popped.
I don't know. That was a really greedy play.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. A really greedy play coming out by Harrison, and into the dusk, trying to make something happen onto Andes. They were able to get the kill in the end. However, both of them falling behind is not something that you want to see.
Yeah, like they could have given it to just give up with the Rakan.
Not only that, but this means that Rutgers University now has the resources to get the Herald. And even aside from that, that also means that Kha'Zix is going to be 3-1 right now. So we're seeing kind of go back to that game 1 tactics.
Kinnan seeming to be able to keep his team in it.
Despite this, though, look at the gold leads for both teams. It's still a very back and forth game. They're even in kills. They're just about even in gold, more or less. Former boyfriend Rakan, hey, I'm not afraid to kill you. He tries to get.
Oh, shoot.
Seeing a nice back and forth. Don't forget to speed up, by the way. A nice back and forth by both teams here. Xayah gonna find herself being 3-1. We're starting to see those first items going to be completed here. Varus going for the penetration build with that Ginsu's Rage Blade being completed. Xayah gonna top it off with that Essence Reaver. Twisted Fate going for the surprising Rod of Ages versus Vladimir in that matchup. That's an interesting one. First items getting picked for both teams here, as things are starting to take a little bit of a slower pace. Not quite yet. The Baron still got a little while to spawn. It's important to note that Best Cannon NA does still have that Rift Herald option, and it looks like he's trying to see if he can use it to crack topside.
Oh.
There was the flash engage, the quickness getting onto Rakan. Excuse me, Xayah. Xayah tries to use her ultimate to get out of there, but it's not.
Oh my goodness.
Best Cannon
It's
NA
enough.
once again getting a little greedy, trying to get the assassination on Xayah, but he's going to find himself getting killed off anyway.
Shit,
Here comes Stand
in.
United coming in from Shen with the global ultimate. He's going to get the taunt off onto Zac. Zac is going to find himself getting killed, but here comes
Teleport
Fiora
coming
with
from
the
Fiora, though.
trying to see if she can get the cleanup onto Varus. It's not quite enough. She's finding herself in an awkward position as well. Xayah trying to keep things calm. Harrison now just barely showing up in the top lane to back up his team, but it's already too late. Zac has already fallen.
Ooh.
2 missed taunts.
Barely
And
sidestepped that time.
Khan going to force them back. Harrison looking for a little bit more. The flash
Good
red card
flash
going to
card.
be enough to kill Rakan. Here comes the
oh,
Humo
but
play.
this is a big bad play though.
Excuse me, Vladimir is enough to get the double kill on here. Fiora is going to pop her ultimate, but it's not enough. The Varus is going to get the double kill. And even Harrison's going to find himself overextended as Kha'Zix responds and respawns and kills Twisted Fate all in the same breath.
Virtues just made a really good play there with that Hemo play. Basically caught every important member of their team in it.
He flashed forward with the red card, getting the kill on Rakan. But in doing so, he didn't notice that Virtue he just wrapped around the bush and was able to on their carries, just as you put it, and he was able to get a couple kills off. Trying to get a lot of damage onto Kha'Zix, going to be ulted by Lulu to Nature's Grass to keep him safe.
Just in case.
Passive, yeah, knowing that his passive is down just in case. And come through by Rising Hero just to make sure that everything's squared away, by the way. That's another team fight that's going in Rutgers University's favor. Trying to put a lot of pressure onto this mid turret, and it's actually going to get cracked right about now. Things snowballed in Rutgers' favor. They had a couple team fights go in their favor. Now they have a 3k gold lead, but the important thing is to see how they use it. And that last team fight is on the Varus, was able to get a double kill. So now he's finding himself being 3-2 to Xayah's 4-2. So it's all about ramping in terms of which one of these 80 carries is going to take over the game. Meanwhile, Rutgers University having that priority on Ocean Drake is going to take it uncontested, and that's going to make sure that the lead is kept. Options for University of Delaware in terms of what objective to go for next are rather limited here. They can take the... To note that they haven't taken any towers yet, actually. They have yet to take any towers, University of Delaware. Getting popped up by Xayah, he's going to find himself, and Vladimir is going to use the Hemo Plague in response. He's trying to go for a little bit more. Kha'Zix going here, and there goes the Flash E. Harrison trying to find a little bit way in. There goes the pull coming on to Xayah. Xayah's going to get picked off. Best Cannon NA, however, is going to find himself jumping. The Chain of Corruption lands on Harrison, but nothing else aside from that, as both teams are going to back off there. A 1-for-1 for both teams here.
All these dashes going on down in bottom lane right now.
Here comes Zach looking for a little bit more. He's going to find Varus out of position. He's going to get 2 down, but there goes the flash quickness coming in. Zach and Lulu both forced to use their ultimates as they're trying to make the escape. Varus and Vladimir looking for a little bit more, trying to get that shutdown onto Harrison, but it's just not going to be enough. Meanwhile, Fior's just going to casually take this turret right in front of Shen and try and turn things around. She's going to pop the grand challenge. There goes the taunt by Shen. Shen's forced to block. And there goes the parry. Shen used to force the flash, but so does Fiora. A duel going on. It could go either way, and they're both going to back off in the end.
Well, Fiora realized that she may have been biting off more than she could chew.
Now Vesken and NA is shadowing the Shen, so now she's forced to back off without getting that kill.
Ooh, can Kennen get there?
Unfortunately, he's not going to get there in time. Through making sure that everything is synced up just in case. A lot of back and forth. It's almost like a waltz, a dance. None of these teams want to be the first one in the week to leave in their first
Without
game
a
of
win.
the week. Exactly. Pull all the stops off with all the global ultimates going around, all the defensive stats, all the strangely sided team fights so far. Any one mistake can turn the whole thing around at this point. Despite Rutgers University have 2 Drakes and 3 kills above University of Delaware, both teams is still relatively the same. And with Baron live, that's going to be an objective that both universities are going to want to look for if they want to try and get a snowball in their favor here. Next flag.
I'm sorry, I'm lost observing. They just have me checking everything out.
That's right. It's mesmerizing how much of a back and forth both teams have had.
The other thing that we haven't talked about is Varus is 40 CS ahead of Xayah, which maybe evens out. Well, I don't know. 7 assists.
There goes the quickness followed by the chain of corruption. Zach is going to find himself in an awkward position. He's going to use Let's Bounce to transport Kha'Zix into University of Delaware's team, but there goes another engage by Rakan's Battle Dance, and that's going to be 2 members of University of Delaware just going down for no reason. Xayah trying to turn things around with the root, but it's not going to be enough. She pops the Feather Storm, trying to see what she can get there. Fiora also going to pop the Grand Challenge. Look at that amount of damage coming out from Xayah's root. Off, but that's 2 kills going down for Rutgers University, and that's something that they can't afford right now. They're looking towards the Baron.
It may even turn into Baron.
On the other hand, does not have a lot of HP. You're seeing Harrison use his ultimate just to get the vision on both teams, making sure that they're not on the Baron. Kennen NA doesn't have enough HP to do it. Ow, but they didn't deny those 2 kills coming off for Rutgers University. Are just things that you really can't afford in game number 3 of this series. You're seeing University of Delaware having a lot of team fights where not all their members on their team are able to respond. Again, alphas with those flash engages with Rakan are just proving to be too much to handle. You saw him getting engaged not once, but a re-engage twice with Rakan's W Battle Dance. Multiple members of University of Delaware's team there. Huge in turning these team fights around, similar to game 1. So you're seeing a lot of these parallels from game 1 with Vesken and NA doing really well. Gauges by Fiora is gonna pop the Grand Challenge. Shen trying to block a lot of the damage with this W, but it's not gonna be enough. She pops the ultimate. She's trying to get the follow-up with the lunge, but it's not enough. Shen gets away.
It's a really good play by Shen popping the W so that she couldn't hit his vital spots anymore.
It's true. Those pivotal timings on there have been more than enough to keep Shen safe so far. But is it safe for the rest of University of Delaware, who's actually going to start Baron? They barely...
That's right there.
They cancel it, realizing that University of Delaware does in fact have vision on the Baron. They back off. Slow. They might approach it again. And aggro from the Baron. Making sure that Baron does some nice damage for free. Rakan has the quickness, though. Alpha's
Does
his
he have flash for it too?
He also has the flash up.
Ooh. Let's see if he tries
By the
something.
way,
Oh.
he can indeed try something here.
Oh, Zach messed up his E. Didn't go over the wall.
Oh, Kha'Zix is going to go undetected. He bounces away before anything else happens. The Chain of Corruption coming out from Aldez. And that's going to be the go-ahead for Zach to kind of go in. He's going to pop Vladimir up. Here goes Hendons using his ultimate now. The team fight's a little bit split. Vladimir's forced to use his Zhonya's Hourglass. There goes the multiple person knockup coming in from Lulu. The shutdown onto Andez's Varus. The double kill coming onto Kha'Zix in the meantime. Rakan's going to find a pop-up going on. Fiora tries to get a kill, but it's not quite enough. Vladimir's dealing a lot of damage in that respect. Vladimir looking for a little bit more. He's going to pop his ultimate, and that's going to be the shutdown just before down is going to kill him. In response,
Lulu duels
is going to go down to the 1v1 by Lulu. This is for both teams here. Oh, but wait a minute. Wait a minute. Just before dawn's looking for a little bit more. Instead.
Lulu's still trying to stop this dragon attempt.
To do it.
What a
They
brave
just have
Lulu.
so much sustain, and with only Lulu, their support, University of Delaware support being the only one left alive,
Careful, night
it's
stuff.
gonna be enough.
It's dangerous, buddy.
Blue team slays the dragon. Rutgers University having complete control over these objectives. These past couple of games, you see, they had a lot of pressure around Baron. And even so far, they've been able to secure all 3 dragons for their team.
They're hunting Lulu. This health total's scaring me. Get out of there,
Worst case
Lulu.
scenario, she has her wild growth to keep her alive. She's going to back off instead. Despite these differences, you're seeing that University of Delaware, through CS and other types of objective control, have been able to maintain the gold lead, making sure that neither team has the opportunity to snowball things out of control. The Vladimir, who's already 3-1, Kha'Zix having 7 kills, even Shen having 4 kills with 0 deaths. Zach has tried his best with the 7 assists, but he's also died 5 times in response.
Oh, didn't quite go in fast enough to get the cancel to engage.
Head back. That's going to be the call for Rutgers University to start the Baron. Zach is going to try and find a way to get inside the Baron pit. He's going to go for it anyways. He's going to get taunted in response. The best cannon and A still secures the Baron and kills Kha'Zix in response. Fiora popping the Grand Champ. You're seeing Kha'Zix hopping, skipping, and jumping away, trying to get as many kills as he can. He's able to get 2 kills in response. Here comes Harrison, however, popping in, stopping anybody from being able to use that Baron. That's going to be the shutdown on Andez. Zai's trying to find a little bit more. The triple kill coming over for East Coast Karen. East Coast carry. And that's both carries popping off in that respect. However, that Baron is not worth it, as just before dawn is the only member on Rutgers University's team that still has that Baron buff active. East Coast carry going to be in a position to carry the game now. Hence his name, no pun intended. Only because of the triple kill that he got in that last fight. Rutgers University thought they could start the Baron, knowing that Rito God's Pleas on Fiora had just backed. Zach tried to hop into the Baron pit to contest that, but it just quite wasn't enough. Able to pop in and get the cleanup towards the end of that team fight, getting a couple kills, while Zaya also gets herself back in the game. University of Delaware were able to get both top turret and mid turret, and that can be pretty pivotal to opening up the jungle options in Delaware to try and invade and try and see if they can get a team fight going on real soon. With this, it's looking like both teams are in their prime, neither one looking like they have a clear advantage, but all members on both teams are in a clear position to carry. Trying to get a lot of very risky plays, but so far they've paid off for his team, not so much himself. Flags. Zach has been able to have a lot of impact on this game, but at the expense of his life. What do you think that means for Rutgers University?
I mean, it's only a matter of time before he gets those other 2 items finished, and he's not just in HP Sponge. Like all he has is Warmogs and the Poacher's item right now. for vision. Oh, but the engage.
Coming in from Rakan, and Kha'Zix is going to try and use this opportunity to get an assassination of his own. Zach's going to pop the Let's Bounce, but look at his HP. It's just dwindling.
Gotta run up here.
And then NA is going to get the kill off there. However, in the meantime, Virtue's going to find himself out of position. He just went a little bit too ham. That's going to be a 1-for-1 going on for both teams. But it's just as you said. He doesn't into the dusk. Zach doesn't have enough items completed. And you're seeing him actually being assassinated by Best Ken and NA on Kha'Zix, a situation that should almost never happen.
Well, I would really think that situation would have gone on better for Delaware, if only because it was the support traded for a carry. But that doesn't seem to be the case at all.
And the Rakan getting the Battle Dance knockup is going to be followed by Shen, but now they're overcommitting a little bit too much. All of University of Delaware has respawned at this point, and that's Hirson trying to go for a little bit more. He's going to get the stun off the Barons, and that's another kill. Once again, another back and forth going on for both teams.
Kha'Zix gets out.
Kha'Zix gets out just in the nick of time. But never mind, he's going to find himself in a knockout position.
Kha'Zix gets out. Once again.
Everything's okay. Ludo actually popped the ultimate on Twisted Fate just in case.
He didn't know which way that was going to go, one way or the other. I imagine if you see that the low health Kha'Zix still in the jungle, you imagine that he's got help. And he's not all alone.
He saw Rutgers University. They got a couple picks offs in the previous team fight. They tried to get the tower and the inhibitor, but they overstayed a little bit with the Rakan and Shen trying to re-engage. They got baited. They baited their team.
It's really just, it seems like, well, 12k, or well, not a lot of difference for gold. It's about 2 towers. It's the tower disadvantage.
Exactly. What's the factor that's keeping University of Delaware back still in this game? The fact that they're able to bounce back and get the cleanups. Rutgers University has gotten some really nice team fights this game so far, but the fact that they keep overextending and staying longer than they should, University of Delaware to still be in this game 31 minutes in.
Alright, Cloud Drake though. Once again, another dragon.
By Rutgers University, and that's all 4 Drakes so far. University side. If they get the Elder Drake on top of that, the health regeneration from 2 Ocean Drakes, along with the damage and movement speed from Cloud, might just be enough to turn the game in their favor in terms of a snowball.
I'd find it really hard pressed to win that next team fight.
Over, if not by the next Baron cult, then by the Elder Dragon spawning for sure. Turret, but it's not quite enough. A lot of vision control around this area. They're going to attempt the siege, but with no Baron buffs remaining on their team, they might find themselves having a little bit of difficulty here. Out as long as they can. They keep dwindling down on that turret, and they're finally able to get it. They're looking for a little bit more here. This might be that overstaying that we talked about earlier. See, they're trying to siege this bot turret, trying to keep the pressure on. That way University of Delaware cannot contest Baron or the Elder Drake that will spawn. This could be a very risky play for both teams here.
Elder Drake, I guess, is still maybe, what, 4 minutes away? 5 minutes away?
No, that Flash and the quickness is up again for alphas. Back
See
off.
if he tries to make another fun engage.
Forget to resync all your stuff. Instead, we're going to see a reset here coming in for both teams. The game, and still not a clear gold advantage for either team here. What we're seeing is that Fiora is going to get a Bloodthirster to make sure that she has to sustain to try and carry those fights later on. Zach trying to become unkillable with the Gargoyle Stone Plate as one of his next items.
Okay, so now he's got some armor and MR. Yeah.
Correct. 10 and 4 has almost all her items, is actually full build right now.
Well, she can sell that Dorn's Blade.
From that Dorn's Blade, she's basically full build. Baron is live. So now East Coast carry is in a position to carry.
From the East Coast, I imagine.
Kha'Zix has been jumping. Best Canada NA has been jumping in and out of fights, opting to go for Maul of Malmortius and Guardian Angel to make sure that when he goes in for the assassination that he lives to tell the tale. And that can be pretty important as well, as we're seeing a lot of pressure. This might be one of the last two team fights. You're seeing Harrison pop the ultimate again for the vision, just to make sure that nobody's on that Baron when they shouldn't be. Wow.
Fiora has teleport.
Or has teleport, and they're going to start the Baron.
Zach's coming in.
He's going to bounce, but he's going to find himself getting in there a little bit too early. There goes the redemption. The Let's Bounce going to be popped off. Zach still has his passive active. Blue team's going to secure Baron Nashor. You're seeing Alpha's using the flash engage that we talked about earlier, and he's going to find two members of the team. The Featherstone being popped off. Those carry is going to be the kill, getting in response.
Well, and Fiora is still shoving down bottom.
All the members of Rutgers University are forced to make a retreat here. You're seeing both excuse me, not Andes, but Alphas and Vladimir, or Shen, excuse me, trying to contest. That's a that might just be the kind of pressure that University of Delaware needs in order to get themselves back in the game. You're seeing here into that team fight, aside from the quickness and flash from Alphas, as well as both sums from Andes, but aside from that, not much else. Seeing both teams here as we head to the very late game. Unkillable. Even Zach finding himself to be unkillable at this point in time. East Coast carry still in the position to carry, but if he dies, that's a lot of University of Delaware's damage that'll go.
Did you notice the difference between Shin and Fiora's CS, by the way? Oh, Kha'Zix finds. Oh.
East Coast carry. You look away from 1 second and you miss the whole thing. Just as I was talking about, University of Delaware loses a lot of their DPS with that shutdown. NNA able to find those assassinations that he wanted from earlier. Parry coming off from Fiora, but Rakan's going to be okay. Minutes of the game, 29 seconds until East Coast carry comes back online.
That might just be too much.
Option. 3 seconds remaining. They're looking to rotate topside here. They're not going to go for the siege, realizing that they made some greedy plays earlier. Topside this time around on their side, so they're going to find it a lot easier to siege this top tier 2 turret. All of University of Delaware's team has respawned, and they're trying to see if they can contest this.
You have Shin recalling to go by, I guess. I'll teleport back in.
But the rest of Rutgers University's team is going to stay. Turn very deadly. Shen with the TP in. Flash engage, but instead Rakan gets the quickness on all 4 carries of the team.
Fiora on the back line, though.
A lot of damage. Fiora's getting on the back line, trying to do as much damage as he can. That's going to be the Guardian ultimate popped for both Andes and for Fiora. Fiora's trying to get as much damage as he can. Andes is going to slay Lulu. East Coast carry, on the other hand, trying to turn things around. He's going to get the kill off the carry. The pop-up and the ultimate being popped by Harrison. He's going to try and look for a little bit more. That's going to be the gold card coming off on Shen, and he's not going to be able to contest and tank that much damage.
Elder Dragon's up.
Backed up. Look at Kha'Zix here. He's trying to look for that assassination early.
Yep, the ping onto Elder Dragon goes down. You start paying attention to that soon.
And East Coast carry, trying their best to carry the game. Fiora, that Guardian Angel you saw, she was able to get in the back line, as was Rakan. But since Rito God's Please was on Andes, he was unable to follow up the damage that Rakan had gotten with that ultimate. That's a bit of a wasted ultimate there. Gotta say, I think I gotta give that team fight to University of Delaware for keeping it steady. Trying to secure the blue buff, find his way back to stop Rutgers University from taking this Elder Drake. They can't contest that. If he takes the Elder Drake, they might just take the entire game. Seeing Alphas is already starting to prep the Elder Drake. Well, not a lot of vision control for University of Delaware down by the Elder Drake. Fight them in the butt as Rutgers University makes the move in on the Elder Drake right now. They're starting it.
Alright, well.
On their way here.
Probably the last fight.
Probably the last fight of the game. It's falling towards half HP. Don't forget to sync up. Harrison's going to use the ultimate. Zach's going to get the stun in their turn. This time Zach is going to
stole it!
He stole the Elder Drake for their team. Zach's going to use the Let's Bounce, and there goes Fiora, assassinating many members of the team.
Oh my goodness.
East Coast Carry is able to get the kill off onto Vladimir, and this is a complete turnaround from what we saw earlier. We're seeing East Coast Carry getting the double kill. Pivotal.
Oh, man.
Means all 4 Drakes from earlier aren't going to have the impact.
Oh.
You cannot close out the game. And you're seeing this back and forth by both teams, neither of which are trying to give up the game just yet.
Alright, now you have Zaya elixired up. Now she is full build.
And with the Elder Drake on her side, she's going to be dealing a lot of damage along with Fiora. So it's all about whether or not they can get in the backline. This time,
I'm just looking at Fiora's trying to catch up and be shooting for 200 CS above his shin. Granted, the game shouldn't go on long enough to allow that.
Unlike game 1, we're seeing Alphas getting the nice engages with the quickness. However, in doing so, he's leaving his own backline exposed, and that's what's allowing East Coast Carry and Rito God's Please to dive in with their Guardian Angels, getting the assassinations on Rutgers University's carries while they're not able to return the damage. Could have been the last team
didn't
fight
talk
if it weren't for
about
that steal.
what he evolved this game. I guess it's just everything but claws again.
I have to agree, especially with that evolved R. He's been trying to find those assassinations, but this late into the game, Kha'Zix doesn't have the damage to kind of contest that. And even if he did, East Coast Carry has a Guardian Angel.
Yep, gotta shoot through the GA.
Him twice, and at that point, Best Kid at NA is gonna find himself out of position if he tries to get the assassination not once but twice. If Delaware's inhibitors are starting to respawn, Baron's gonna be live in 15 seconds. Don't forget to sync up, by the way. Zach can get another victory in that 50-50 smite. Look at Zach's HP. Angels and even Shen, being as tanky as he is, a lot of HP that you have to go through in order to get any kill this late in the game.
Yep, 3,400. That's pretty much a lot.
Mid lane, neither team trying to go towards the Baron. Neither team wanting to make the last mistake, the bad call that might cost them the entire game. Split pushing. Rutgers University has all their members here to do this Baron, and they are going to start it off. But Fiora's not in a position. She does have teleport, however.
Oh.
Thing is being melted down.
Let's see if Zach can... Oh, not enough time.
Zach is unable to do it. It's just too much damage. The Baron goes down quickly. Hearsay trying to get the flash engage. He's going to cancel that. The chain of corruption landed on Zach. Backing off.
Oh, they're getting out. Well, they were down a minute. Like, contesting that super seriously would have been way too dangerous.
Pick off on Rito God Please, but his teammates alert him ahead of time. And that's a free Baron going for Rutgers University. Do you think that's going to be the turning point in this otherwise crazy game?
Another Baron is really big, but they're gonna have to take a top.
You also have to keep in mind that the Elder Dragon buff has now expired. So now, University of Delaware does not have that nice boost in stats provided by the Elder Drake. Over to Rutgers University side, they're going to have the tempo for this next and probably last team fight. Minute game.
Famous last words there, hero.
Indeed. Out. It's important not to get caught out as both teams have equal gold advantage.
Yeah, this game has been very even the whole time around. Like, and now it's just completely even. That's pretty impressive.
Your team has been able to snowball, and that's because of the decision-making and objective control from both teams. University getting all 4 Drakes. University of Delaware has been there with the team fights, getting those nice cleanups, making sure that they can't do much with those objectives that they get. A follow-up from the objectives, basically. And that's what's been keeping this game so even this whole time. 5 minutes in the game, with most champions having their entire builds completed. It's not about whether or not you have that snowball advantage anymore. You play those team fights well enough. So much pressure going down bot side. This may be the last one.
They just try to walk up and crack it.
Minion wave
Get
barely
that
coming
inhibitor
in.
busted open.
Inhibitor fell. Make sure to sync up, by the way. But look at how fast that bottom inhibitor fell. In. Low start. He doesn't want to pull the trigger. They don't want to be the people to make that mistake. So they're going to play it slow. Moments for those of you watching at home, waiting to see if your favorite university can come out on top with these kills here. Still left on the clock. Still inhibitor still up. Still up. Rutgers opting to push a lot of pressure mid. Going to quite arrive on time. Gotta be careful not to pull the trigger too soon for them in this game.
Teleport from Shin.
Now comes Zach coming in with the engage. He's trying to get as much as he can do. There goes a follow-up by East Coast Carry. He's not going to find enough. Virtue's going to pop his Zonia's Hourglass. There goes the flash engage by Rakan, and Zach's going to find himself going back in. East Coast Carry is unstoppable as he kills Rakan. Harrison following the kill, getting Vladimir in the process. Sen trying to tank as much damage as he can, but he can't do enough. Rito God Please is going to dive onto the back line, killing Andez in the process. Harrison looking for a little bit more, going to get the double red card, getting the resurrect onto Kazik. Shen still trying to find his way out of here. There goes this flash.
No.
He's going to be on the rampage, getting that kill. Fiora's trying to get a little bit more, as Best Kennen NA is desperately trying to find his way out of here, desperately trying to find a way to live, but it's not going to be enough. He keeps jumping, and he gets the shutdown anyway. It looks like Rutgers University was not willing to pull the trigger on that team fight. The University of Delaware did.
Did you see that lifesteal by Fiora right there?
The lifesteal by Fiora and even by Virtue and Vladimir not too long ago. And look at these death timers. 48 seconds on Best Kennen NA. Early game.
It's like a lifetime in League of Legends.
Honestly. Or Into the Dusk was finding himself assassinated by Kazakhs. This late into the game, Zach becomes basically unkillable. You saw himself going for the engage not once, but twice, and still lived to tell the tale without even having to bust his passive. And that allowed his teammates to take their time and carefully go through the team fight in order to come out on top there. And
You know, and I thought that I was wrong. But this game might go on long enough for Fiora to get a 200 CS lead over Shin.
5 CS here, 47 minutes into the game. A record, most likely here. Esports. Trying to recuperate themselves. Happy team fight. Thankfully for Rutgers University, the inhibitors, just the mid turret from that, but another team fight going not in their favor could very well cost them the entire game. Just trying to make that call. That middle inhibitor once again. Engages once more. Could spell Rutgers University. You're biting your nails as hard as I am right now. And trying to get the split push going on to make sure that Rutgers University has the pressure eventually erupts. Fiora going to try and contest them in the meantime. Towards mid, seeing what they can do. Flash options available for Zach, Virtue, and East Coast Carry. They're the only ones with their flash up. Down this late into the game, almost 50 minutes in. Oh, there goes the Zach. He's trying to engage, but not much else after that. He misses, and both teams back up. See a gold advantage coming in for University of Delaware, but it's not quite enough. Zach's going to re-engage once again. He's actually going to find his mark this time. He's going to use the Let's Bounce, but it's not going to find anybody. He misses instead. And that's going to be the inhibitor going down for University of Delaware. And they're actually going to back off, trying to take this play slow. Seeing this time into the dusk, trying to pull that trigger a little bit early. Team fight that they're looking for, but it wasn't quite enough. Both teams trying to run it down mid. The Elder Drake is once again live. Dragon.
Do you think he steals this one?
No. Let's see if they even get the chance to attack it. Make sure to sync up your stuff, by the way. Circling around the Elder Drake into Dusk, going to be the one on University of Delaware's team to make the call to start it. Off Kha'Zix.
We just add 50 minutes, right?
50 minutes in.
Yep.
Oh. Any one mistake, the pressure is so high on this. University seizing their opportunity, they're going to start the Elder Drake instead.
Vision.
Knockup by Rakan is going to stop Zach from being able to go in. They're trying to zone it off as much as they can. Lulu, oh, there goes the Let's Bounce coming on by Zach, delivering the entire team onto University of Delaware. That's going to be a lot of taunts going in left and right just before Don is going to get the kill on the Lulu. The Shen going to get the...
Oh, and Fiora
trying to pop off.
gets bursted.
She gets the ultimate, and there goes the Guardian Angel being popped off by Fiora. That's okay, because she's still alive. The flash by Harrison. That's going to be Harrison being unstoppable, getting the kill onto Vladimir. Once again, another team fight that doesn't go in favor of Rutgers University. Oh, the flash by Fiora, and that's going to force out the flash by Andes, making sure that he doesn't get killed in the process. Meanwhile, Zaya is trying to duke it out with Kha'Zix down by the Drake. Back timers here, making sure that nothing else can come out. But with all, look at all those minions that are in the University of Delaware's base.
That is going to be a lot for Twisted Fate to clear out by himself.
As well. Oh, look at this kill. Oh, the Resurrect going to have to be popped by Best Ken and NA, and Fiora's going to find herself in an awkward situation. There goes the parry, but it's not going to find much else. Chain of Corruption going to land itself onto Zaya. Zaya's going to back out Rito God's Please, making sure that he doesn't get killed. Trying to get that pick off. Game at this stage, losing important cooldowns such as Guardian Angel is so important in these games. Because as soon as that thing pops, it doesn't come back up for another 300 seconds. And those 300 seconds this late in the game can be the difference between victory and defeat.
We'd like to say that the 300 seconds may not happen again. But we don't know at this point. 52 minutes into the game.
We're finally starting to see a goal difference. We're seeing University of Delaware, with their success in these recent team fights, as an 8k gold lead. But as we mentioned previously, oh, the game has been paused.
Ooh, quick pause.
Lost connection here. Check, making sure that all the equipment is okay.
All the equipment should be okay. Check your phone though.
Something may have gone wrong. Bug splatter this late in the game. Into their room, telling them you got to go to bed. But Mom, I'm in the tournament right now. As I was mentioning previously, despite University of Delaware having an 8k gold lead this late in the game, that doesn't really mean much when all teams have full builds. And we're going to see the resume here. Make sure that everything is synced up, by the way.
Checking.
Pivotal moments. These last couple of team fights have gone in University of Delaware's favor. don't have the pressure. They haven't cracked. They haven't entered, I should say, Rutgers' base. And we are seeing, just as I said, a 60-minute game. Heading towards the Elder Drake once again. And some pressure here. Ends this, the respawn timers might be so long that they can win it off this next team fight. Same can be said. Instead, the call to Baron is going to be made instead of the Elder Drake. The ultimate, you've noticed that he's been using that ultimate for a very utility purpose, getting vision on all members.
Quick dash to avoid the leap by Zach.
A lot of pressure. University of Delaware finally finding themselves.
Ooh.
Rutgers going to make the call to go to Baron.
Okay, so, but I think this is smart.
Going to take the Drake.
Well, it's just you don't want them to have Elder Drake with 4 dragons, right?
Both inhibitors down and a Baron buff for Rutgers University. Will they finally be able to convert that into a win? That's the real question. Them from getting that huge boost from Elder Drake, but is it enough considering that they have so many of their inhibitors already down?
Red team's inhibitor is falling soon.
Come online. Might just have to carry this whole game into the game now, and we're seeing Rutgers University finally approach that final tower, seeing if they can crack that final inhibitor.
And Zach jumps in, pulls back Varus a little bit.
Nothing else aside from that. Look at that amount of damage that was popped onto Kazakhstan with just one auto attack. Back and forth by both teams. Happy. All inhibitors are about to come back online. Lights.
Zach's getting ready to jump in again. Think about it. Oh, changed his mind.
In the chat if I don't finish my sentences. Everything's so exciting. You don't want to make sure, you want to make sure that you don't miss any action. All inhibitors back up for University of Delaware. The game. Rutgers, oh,
Zach
wait a minute, hold on.
Diving in.
And once again, going to miss.
Just dives in.
Keep
Walks out.
taking this slowly. Each from both teams. Deadly. For anyone who pulls the trigger too soon, there goes Zach coming in again. Zach, Best Cadet NA is going to find himself in an awkward situation, but he gets out just in the nick of time.
Man.
It's a lot of pressure.
This is just, like, stalled.
It's a stall. On both teams. For the most part. Engages. That Zach. Look at how huge he is. Trying to find that opportunity to give his team the chance to win. University once again marching down into University of Delaware's base. Zach getting a different angle this time. Gonna find himself in the middle of the team. Knocked up by Rakan. There goes onto Varus. The amount of damage that is going to Zach is huge. Rakan tries to pop the quickness, but he gets gold carded instead.
Those gold cards on Rakan have been really good too.
Oh, Zach
here we
finally
go.
gets
Finally.
engaged that he's looking for.
Big
The last
jump.
bounce going to deliver 3 members of the team. East Coast carry is godlike, finally going to be able to pick off Andes in the process. Fiora trying to get the pop off onto the backline team. East Coast carry going to get a double kill onto Rakan, killing her former boyfriend. Pearson is once again dominating, getting the kill off to Vladimir here. Shen trying to get away as fast as he can, but he's going to get polymorphed and chain CC'd, and that's a double kill for Harrison. Another team fight that's going to go in favor of University of Delaware. Harrison looking for a little bit more. Kazakh's forced to jump, but he's polymorphed instead. That's going to be the Guardian Angel, a 300-second cooldown being popped for Kazakhs. He tries to flash away, another cooldown going down, and that's a clean ace coming into University of Delaware.
All right, well, we'll see if they get a chance to respawn and regroup.
It's being on those respawn timers. Finally finding themselves entering the base on the opposite side of the team. Crack that down. It's 19 seconds until any member of Rutgers University is able to respond. Zach is just going to casually tank all the towers. Is this going to be it? Where looking like they're going to finally take the victory after winning several team fights in the late game in a row. And that's it. University of Delaware wins the best of 3 series here today.